and gentlemen, it is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time here at Fifth Dimension Studios here in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio on Wednesday night. And you know what that means.
10-cent beer night.
Official sports show at FifthDimensionRadio.com every Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time here on FifthDimensionRadio.com. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
We're filming here on Groundhog Day, Monday, February 2nd, our first show of February this year.
Oh, I don't think the groundhog's going to see his shadow today.
No, and then when I find him, I'm gonna. Pennsylvania did.
But Ohio didn't.
Okay, Pennsylvania didn't and Ohio didn't. So we're going to find the Ohio groundhog and have some groundhog feast tonight. So, no. Okay, all jokes aside, we're not going to touch any groundhogs, ladies and gentlemen. It's just, yeah. We do got a ton to talk about. We will first start off. We did have a high school broadcast this past Saturday. I did not know that, to make up for the game that was canceled Tuesday due to weather, because this weather.
Modern Field was canceled.
Right.
Field at Mogador, I should say.
Yeah.
And so we picked up the Lake Center Christian School at Mogador on Saturday. So
there you go.
That's on our YouTube channel, Fifth Dimension Radio / 10-cent beer night. If you want to watch the video replay.
Yeah. If you want to watch the video replay because by the time this is broadcast, North and Springfield will be up. Or almost up. It'll begin there. But by the time you hear this, you could probably check it out. It'll be on YouTube somewhere later this week. And the next broadcast after this 10-cent beer night here is going to be Talmadge at Barberton. And which is going to be interesting because, you're going to have Rod Whitmer, who's done a ton of Talmadge, work there, done a ton of Talmadge games in his career. And then you're bowling coach for Barberton. So there you go. It's kind of like a mix of parts of the staff in one game here. So Talmadge at Barberton there, and that is on Tuesday, February 10th.
Of course, Ronnie did do a lot of broadcasting and coaching at Talmadge.
Right.
But, he graduated from Mogador.
Right.
Mogador High School.
Right.
And so his brother Eric and Tony, also from Mogador. Tony Whitmer, Ron's brother, is the head girls coach at Talmadge.
There you go. So, so just some history there. But, Talmadge at Barberton. Hopefully that will be a good one. We'll see what happens on the 10th there. But you can tune in on Fifth Dimension here. And that is,
Tuesday. Estimated tip-off time, 7 p.m.
7 p.m., okay.
It can run a little over, a little earlier. It all, we got JV games, usually freshman games before the varsity games, so sometimes it runs a little over. So, but estimated time, 7 p.m. tip-off.
Absolutely. All right, now to move on to some other things. And Bob, you weren't here last week, and when I did 10-cent beer night last week,
And it was a good show too.
Thank you.
To it.
I appreciate it. I had mentioned that by the time our next 10-cent beer night comes, I think we're going to have a new coach for the Browns. Mm-hmm. And here we are, and I was right. It was actually the morning of 10-cent beer night, again, because we record a couple days in advance. They made the move, and I'll be honest, I was shocked. Out of what was the final candidates, I did not expect Todd Monken to get the job. So when I read that, I went, "Oh my, we're going to get some reactions here." So it was interesting. Here's what I will say. I was not mad. I was surprised. I didn't have a bad gut feeling. It was kind of a uncertain feeling. I knew the positives and I knew some of the negatives to go along with it. First of all, I will say I thought Schwartz or Shieldhouse was going to get it. Just by the way they were talking. Again, I had Ulich from Jaguars as my primary pick, is who I thought was going to get it, and then he backed out. And he backed out because word got to him he wasn't going to get the job. That's what came out. So it wasn't like, I don't want it on second thought. It like people assumed. It was he caught word that, if I'm not going to get it, I'll just pull my name out kind of attitude, which I get. And he got an extension. He actually got higher pay with Jacksonville, stay down there. And then it just sounded like they were in the meeting with Shieldhouse for hours. And it sounded like that they were really working on something. And then when the dust settled, they picked former Ravens offense coordinator Todd Monken. And here's the positives and the negatives with it. I would say the positive is the guy has been around for a while. He's got a mix of he's good with modern day players, but he's also got an old school approach too, which the team did need. I think that not to be too nice, but to be stern, a stern football coach to these millionaire football players that needed it in this environment change. Um, he's had a lot of success in his offensive format. He has, of course, he was with the Ravens the past few years. He was with Georgia when they won back-to-back championships. He was their offensive coordinator. He has had head coach experience at Southern Mississippi. He actually left the program for NFL opportunities, so it wasn't he was. Actually, the team progressively got better with him. They were 9-5 in his last year and won the bowl game. It was the same attitude as Jeff. His name is slipping my mind. The Dolphins' new coach. It was he had head coach experience in the college ranks too, and also left for pro opportunity. So it wasn't like he was in the pros being a head coach, but he had that experience and could build on that. Monken's been here before. He was here with Freddie Kitchens. He was O coordinator. He did not call plays though. Okay, and he was one of the whistleblowers that led to Kitchens' early firing. And I say early, he finished the season. But people were hearing all these rumors about Kitchens' prep for game, and Monken was the one. He told somebody, I'm trying to say it was NFL Network or something. No, it was a journalist. He said, this guy's prepping for games Wednesday through Saturday, and he brings an all-new playbook on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And that was the problem with Kitchens is he would prepare for 3 quarters of football, because his logic was, we'll take the lead in the first 3, and we'll just breeze through the 4th. You got to play all 4 quarters. This is why this guy's not a head coach anymore. And on top of that, then he changed his playbook. And so they thought they were prepared going in the game. And then Freddie Kitchens had other plans. So it
didn't last long.
No, he did not. So Monken was there to witness all of that. He also was Jameis Winston's offensive coordinator down for the Bucs. I think when Raheem Morris was head coach there. I actually did not look up to see who was head coach when he was there. So here would be the negatives, I would say, was one, the reason John Harbaugh got fired by the Ravens was because the team told him to fire Todd Monken and the defensive coordinator. And he said, no, they're my guys. I want to keep them, and I want to keep going forward with what we have. I think we can build on it. And they said, we're not on the same page, so they agreed to they fired him, but it was kind of mutual agreement at the same time. It was just, he was there long enough where they felt like it was time to go a new direction, okay? But the fact is, this guy, now if he doesn't get off of the Browns job, he is the Giants' new offensive coordinator. That did come out. That was going to be official. So there was a job waiting for him should he not been offered by the Browns, but the Browns decided to.
Well, I said, somebody asked me, and I said, you know what? Give the guy a chance.
Right.
Give the guy. What's it going to hurt?
Right. Well,
what's it going to hurt to give the guy a chance? We've had a luck lately. Maybe this guy can do it.
Right. And my attitude too is because the fans feel so uncomfortable about it that maybe he's the right guy because the fans are usually wrong. Let's just be honest. Like we have my opinions, you have your opinions, Bob. But the fans have said a lot of things the past few years that we look back and like, that didn't make any sense. I mean, remember how much of them were for the Watson trade, for example. And look back at that's the worst trade in franchise history. It's top 3 in the NFL history. There's one trade that might go above it, but other than that, like the fans don't always know what they're talking about here. And the other thing too is, would you rather have a guy with all this experience, all this consistent success in the offensive approach, or the young kid that's never called play? Because Shieldhouse and Ulrich, also I don't got his name in front of me, but I think it was Ulrich, excuse me. I'll look that up so I can correct myself. They never called plays. So
Yeah, like I said, I'm all for giving the guy a chance. We hadn't had no luck with the most of the we've brought in, so
right, Udinski. Excuse me, I wasn't even close. Udinski. I said Allmerch. I said you're. I'm going by I gotta stop going by memory. I have this in front of me.
yeah, get
Brett
old.
Udinski. Yeah. There you go. But Todd Monken's putting it together his coaching staff. I wanted to list some names. He most of it's coming from the Ravens, and again, the Ravens who were consistently good under John Harbaugh. So he's taking most of Harbaugh's guys. Offensive coordinator is going to be Travis Switzer, Bob, who was the run game coordinator for the Ravens. But you've seen this name before. It's been a while. He was center for the Akron Zips from 2011 to 14.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I wouldn't have. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
I know the name.
Right.
I was just thinking it was a different guy.
No, there you go. Mike Bajakian is going to be the quarterback's coach. We saw him coach Bob last year. You didn't even know it. He was offensive coordinator for UMass, but he got Michigan State's quarterback coach job. He just told Michigan State last night, "Hey, Brown's offered me a job. I'm going to go there instead." So I mean,
well, good. He ain't going up north. I mean, it ain't the team that we hate, but
no. Danny Breyer, he was offensive assistant for John Harbaugh. He's going to be passing game coordinator. Jeff Blasco, tight ends coach, he was here with Freddie Kitchens and Todd Monken in 2019. Okay? He is a University of Akron graduate. He got his master's in sports management at University of Akron. Yeah, he didn't play football for them, but he graduated from Akron. Yeah, so that's another zip on the coaching staff there. And this is where we're going to talk about this part. When the Monken news first came out, there was a lot of negativity towards the subject. Now there's more positive coming in. So Jim Schwartz did not get the job as head coach, and reports came out that he told people
as he was going out the door,
right,
that he wouldn't be back.
He wouldn't be back. He said goodbye to people. He actually told a couple members of the Brown staff to screw off. Was the report? Yeah, I mean he was upset. Yeah. But now, okay, so
fake news.
Well, I don't know if it's fake or not.
It's fake news.
He is under contract with the Browns for one more year. But here's the thing: last night, San Francisco 49ers hired Raheem Morris, who was just fired from the Falcons as their head coach, replaced by Kevin Stefanski now. He's their new defensive coordinator, the 49ers. And the rumor had it, San Francisco wanted Schwartz over everybody. So they were asking a journalist over there who was reporting the hiring and everything, why not Schwartz? And he said they wanted him, but they said there was uncertainty that he was for sure leaving Cleveland. So they said they went to the next best thing. So that's telling me he is staying, and I'm wondering, Bob, if
well, he's going to honor his contract.
Right.
He's got 1 year left.
Yeah.
He'll honor the contract. But after that, I don't know. We'll see.
Here's let's wait and see, because Haslam's thrown money at players, we know that, and other things. This is a time for Haslam to make it up to the fans, give him the fattest defensive coordinator contract in NFL history, and extend him. What's the argument? The guy has had 3 great years of being a coordinator. The players, the defense.
Personally, I'd like to say him be the head coach, but like I said, I'm gonna give this guy a chance.
Right.
You know.
There were, and as far as that's concerned, the argument too is they have to see eye to eye what the front office wants to see and what the what is best for the players too. And people have brought up, they said Schwartz, look, great defensive guy. When he was with the Lions as head coach, their defense was subpar, and he had Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson, and he had 1 winning season. He went to the playoffs 1 year. And that's the point they're trying to. He had 2 Hall of Famers leading the offense. And mind you, at that time, all Stafford needed to do was throw it up in the air for Johnson. He brought it in. Nobody could guard him like that. But the defense was just, and that was a lot of it too was the front office. They went years without grabbing a good starting cornerback. I mean, I remember they were crying for that for years, and they were just like, maybe with Monken there and his experience, it's what they need right now. I will tell you, one of the sells to fans, especially Shedeur Sanders fans, he wanted Shedeur in Baltimore. I don't know if you saw the video, Bob, but Shedeur came back from vacation. He went to go greet Coach Monken, and Monken goes to hug him, and he says, "We wanted your ass in the draft last year. I'll tell you more about it another time, but I'm glad it went full circle and I got you anyway." So that was telling me they're giving Shedeur a serious chance, which was a relief because I didn't want him drafting a quarterback in this draft. But it's come out when Monken was hired. CBS was reporting that both Gabriel and Shedeur were going to be on the roster going into camp, and they're going to battle it out. They did say now the tone has changed for Watson. His situation's up in the air, because before it was
his situation was up in the air long ago.
Before they were saying he's for sure going to be on the roster for the 2026 season, and now they're saying maybe not. And there is rumors, Bob, Jets are interested in taking a swing and making a trade because they're so desperate at quarterback right now that they're looking for anything.
Make the trade, Jets. Get them off our roster, and take the money.
Well, you know what though? If we get a higher draft pick, we might have to eat up some of that cap. And I'm willing to do that. Maybe get a third-round pick or something if we eat up the most.
How many games have the guy played in 4 years he's been here?
Right, not very many. Not even half a season.
I don't think he played 8 games yet.
I think he's played. He may have played 9. I'll have to look.
$240 million for 8 games. What's that average out to? Think about it.
I don't want to think about it. I want to move on to Shedeur. Shedeur Sanders is at least a Pro Bowl, Bob. He's a Pro Bowler. No, but anyway, so
he's a Pro Bowler because he got picked because of the injuries and stuff.
Right, I know that it still counts on his record. It counts on Joe Flacco's record too. Congrats to him. That's his first ever Pro Bowl. Believe it or not, that's his first.
He didn't get in when
he didn't get in with the Ravens. No,
he didn't get in when he led us to the playoffs.
No, he came in too late.
Well, the NFL must have got something against Cleveland, like the Mid-American Conference got against Akron.
I guess so. But I will tell you another bright spot with the Monken hiring is they were talking to analysts, former players, one of them being Andrew Hawkins, a wide receiver that was with the Browns. A lot of these offensive players said they got their guy. And a lot of the offensive players were O-linemen and that never had him and said, no, he's legit. They got their guy. They said this makes so much sense right now. So they're sold on it. That's telling me there's something we don't know right there. So, I mean, so we'll see. And I'm guessing, I'm not sure what Switzer there as O-corner. I'm guessing Monken's calling plays, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll find out. The press conference is on Tuesday. We're filming here on Monday, so we'll find out very soon. But this is the one thing I want to say before we get off the subject, Bob, and we take our break. He likes to run the ball more than passing it. He brings in the play action and everything. That's the kind of stuff that was working with Stefanski in the beginning, and then he changed it up. That's the kind of stuff you got to do in the NFL today. And we have good running backs. It's time to use them. It's time to improve that offensive line. Cleveland has been a run game offense since they were the Cleveland Browns. It's time to bring that back. We're not this flashy passing. And you can win that way. And then you bring in the passing game too. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, we got to run the ball. We're a running team. It's in our roots. We're a running team there. We got to take a break. When we come back, Cavs swing a trade, and they might have more in store as the trade deadline comes. Cavs did win a big game last night. We'll talk about that and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to 10 Cent Beer Night here on FifthDimensionRadio.com. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
One last note I do want to make about the Todd Monken era of the Cleveland Browns. Another guy that is returning to Cleveland. He was with the O-line coach for the Ravens last year, George Warhop. If that name sounds familiar, he's been an offensive line coach for 30 years. And for Shermer, Chunzinski, and Pedden from 2009 to 2013, he was the Browns O-line coach. Okay? He did a solid job when he was here. The O-line wasn't bad when he was here with Joe Thomas, Alex Mack, and them. They were pretty consistent. They just didn't have anything else. So they didn't have a quarterback. They didn't have.
We had a quarterback who had 37 of them or something.
We had Whedon and Manziel at the time. We had Josh Gordon. So I mean,
So we had to name it a pass.
yeah.
How long was he with us?
A couple of years. Yeah, that's a sad story. But so we're Coach Warhop will be back there. Again, that is also another transfer from the Baltimore Ravens there. So, shifting gears to basketball.
So Cleveland's coming back. We moved to Cleveland. We moved to Baltimore. Now we're coming back to Cleveland.
John Harbaugh's group is at least coming back. I'm honestly shocked how many of them did not join him in New York. So that says something. I mean, I think it is bigger. Some of these guys are getting a promoted position, but some of it too is they just like Todd Monken that much. So I mean, if he's that well liked, that's probably a good thing there. Hopefully, Jim Schwartz really likes him. I would like him to stick around, and I think that those guys, I think they would get along with what they have there. Switching gears to the Cavaliers, they went 3-1 this past week. Last Monday, beating the Orlando Magic, sweeping them in that back-to-back game series, 114-198. I was there for Wednesday when they dominated the Lakers, 129-99. LeBron had one of the worst games I've ever seen him play. Everybody chanted for Bronny to come out because we do like Bronny. We weren't picking. There was a fan there that thought we were picking him. They said that's not nice. I said no, we actually like him. We want him to come out. You're getting beat by 24 at the time. Might as well put him out there. And he scored 8 points, and we all cheered and everything. Friday night, we went to a great game, but then going to watch the Cavs, that was miserable. 113-126. Kenny Atkinson tossed out of the game after a second technical there. Many thought the refs were letting the game get out of hand, and was
that in Phoenix?
Yeah, it was. And then, so we're going to pause before we talk about Sunday. Saturday night, like 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m., there was a trade. There was a three-way trade involving the Cavs, the Kings, and the Bulls, okay? Cavaliers traded DeAndre Hunter to the Kings. Kings traded Dario Saric and draft picks to the Bulls. And the Cavs got Keon Ellis and veteran point guard Dennis Schroeder in the deal, okay? Now, this Keon Ellis guy, shooting guard, okay? Good on perimeter defense, has a hell of a three-point shooter. He can hit it from deep, okay? And this guy, I mean, he averaged like 5 points a game this year, 2 assists. People are like, what's the big, because he was one of the hot trade candidates. A lot of teams felt the Kings weren't using him correctly. They thought he was a diamond in the rough type player, okay? And the Celtics and Spurs wanted him bad. Cavs just stepped it up and made sure they made the trade before anybody else did. And I was reading an article from CBS after the trade. CBS gave him an A- for the Cavs. Kings got a D, and Bulls got a C-. There. And they were saying, they said first off, Schroeder, he's been inconsistent, but he's been good on every other team. So if he's been traded or released, that next team he does better. He wasn't so good on the Kings, so they said for the Cavs he could be better. And he's played under Atkinson before as an assistant coach. So Atkinson knows how to use it. And he is solid. He's a solid player. And so there was that. And for Keon Ellis here, CBS compared the trade deal to stuff that the Oklahoma City Thunder did. Now, you know, they're the defending champs. And the Thunder, all they did was draft their players or pick up or trade for young prospects. You know, like they didn't draft Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but they traded Paul George for him because they're like, okay, this is a prospect we could see growing to a great player. And he became one of the best players right now in the league, defending MVP. And they said Keon Ellis has an expiring contract at this summer. He'll be a restricted free agent, but he's going to come cheap because he was an undrafted free agent. He's only played so much, so he can only ask for so much. And they said these are the same moves the Thunder did to get 4 of their most reliable role players. And they said they think this is a similar move that the Cavs are going to make here. And so the question becomes like, are the Cavs going to make any more moves? One and two, will these guys fit in right away? Well, I think they'll fit in. They are expected. Their next game is Wednesday against the Clippers. They are expected to be in uniform, both of them. How much are they going to play? We don't know. You know, there's a different playbook. There's different teammates and everything. But I mean, they got this Ellis guy for perimeter defense and shooting. Okay, very good athletic kid. I forget where he came out of, but I'll pull that up here in a little bit. But as far as other moves are concerned, because the trade deadline's Thursday, so it's the day after the show is broadcast there. There are rumors that they're not done, and one of the moves they might do is let go of Lonzo Ball. But there are teams interested in trading instead, so they don't have to do a buyout or anything. But that's one of the reasons they got Dennis Schroeder, is because you have Craig Porter Jr., who's playing very well off the bench. And with Schroeder, those are your backup point guards, especially while Darius Garland is hurt. Let me see. He played Florida Southwestern.
Florida Southwestern.
That's where Keon Ellis played. In Alabama. He also played at Alabama, too. So, yeah, that's where he's out. But, yeah, again, undrafted free agent, and they are sold on him. So, I mean, and they didn't give up, as far as giving up a DeAndre Hunter, some people are on the fence, like, did we pull the plug too early? I read an interesting article by a guy, I think he's with CBS now, I can't remember. But he helps cover the NBA and regions, including the Cavs. He used to cover specifically the Hawks, and he said in his time there, he got to know DeAndre Hunter and the noise around him, and they said yes, he is a good player. Yes, physically he was good, because they brought him in. This was a 6'7" guy that was one of the better 3-point shooters in the league last year, and he was good on defense. Well, his defense kind of dipped out playing for the Cavs. His 3-point shooting was good, and then this year both of them went, like both of them declined. And he said the problem with Hunter was in Atlanta, he's a good player, but he gets lazy and unmotivated, and he doesn't work on himself all the time. He just lets things kind of just go. And he said, so that's why Atlanta was willing to part with him, and that's what the Cavs saw when they were ready to move on from him. So as far as, like, was this a good... Well, they now relieve $24+ million the next couple of years doing that trade, one. And then, two, you got some solid guards here. Size-wise, they're both like 6'4". So, I mean, they're not huge, but I mean, like,
but
but you're now out of the luxury tax. There's a lot of flexibility now, and we'll see what they do with Lonzo Ball. I think Dean Wade is safe. I think.
Well, if Dean Wade goes, I'm done.
Right.
I'm not a Cavs fan no more.
I know
Dean Wade
that.
is my man.
I know.
I'm just teasing. I followed Dean all the way up from the Charge,
Right. But it sounds to me, Bob, like he is safe, and it sounds like the core four are safe. Will they look at somebody brought up? They keep bringing up Giannis Antetokounmpo, because now that they're out of the second apron, they could do a deal like that. I just don't see the Bucks trading him within the division. That's like trading Myles Garrett to the Steelers. You're going to have to deal with him every year. Do you really want to do something like that, even if you get something good back? I don't see it happen. I think the core four is safe, as far as that's concerned there. But anyways, so that was the trade that happened.
I'm just glad to see the Cavs starting to play better.
Right, they are. And then last night they beat the Trailblazers 130-111. One man short because Hunter wasn't there, but the rest were. Jared Allen having the best game of his career. 40 points, 17 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 5 assists.
Wow.
Just through the roof. Incredible. Just play, and that's what he can do if they can give him the ball. And then Craig Porter Jr. put up a stat nobody has seen since 1993. First player to come off the bench and do 12 assists, 5 steals, and I think it was 2 blocks. It has not happened since 93. He only had 2 points, mind you, the entire game. But everything else.
He played defense.
Right. And that's what this guy does. So this week's games are all on the West Coast till our next 10-cent beer night. Okay, Wednesday, 10th. So this game will not be even played by the time you listen to this. So this is fresh for you. This is fresh news. 10:30 p.m. FanDuel. They're at the Los Angeles Clippers. Okay, I believe they beat them earlier this year. I gotta look back. They may not have played them earlier yet. No, they have not played them yet. So last year they split the series 1-1. They lost in LA last year. Let's win this year in LA. Saturday they get to visit DeAndre Hunter. They're at Sacramento against the Kings, 10 p.m. On FanDuel. So Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder will be there. By that time, the trade deadline will be over, and we'll know if they've done another move or not. I don't expect anything spectacular, but I can see the Lonzo Ball contract move. He's playing less, too. He's just not playing very well. So I expect them to move on from in any kind of fashion there. And then Monday till our next 10 Beer Night, 9 p.m. on FanDuel, they will be at Denver against the Nuggets. And Nikolai Jokic is back. They did beat the Nuggets in December when Jokic was first hurt. January. They beat him by 5 points, and now that with him back, it's going to be tougher. So hopefully, maybe, by the time they play Jokic, we'll have Mobley and Garland back. There's a chance. I'm not saying it for sure. I'm not saying he'll be back either, but the other part of trading away Hunter was because when Strus comes back, they were going to lessen Hunter's minutes. He was going to take away minutes from Hunter. So Strus eventually is going to be back, so we'll see what happens there. There was another move there.
I'm just glad to see they're playing better.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
I think they're number 2 right now in the East. I think number 2 seed.
Let me. I'll check that. They did. This was last Friday night. They did cut ways, unfortunately, with Akron Knight Chris Livingston.
Oh.
And they did sign Tristan and Enaruna. Okay, Cleveland State kid. He's from overseas. I forget where he's. Let me see here if it says here in this article, but Netherlands. He's from the Netherlands, but he played for Cleveland State. Yeah, he played for Iowa State, Kansas, and then Cleveland State. So he's been around. He scored 2 points last night in the Blazers game. They also in that trade they did add another G Leaguer.
Has anybody picked up Livingston yet?
I have not heard anything. As far as
I thought he was a pretty good kid, pretty decent kid. I mean, not great, but I think he'd do good for somebody.
Right, I agree. I do think that. Let me see. Cavs got Emmanuel Miller is his name. He's going to be power forward. He's going to be in their two-way contract at G League. He's from Ontario. He played for Texas A&M and TSU. He went undrafted, and that was somebody they picked up. They did waive Luke Travers, the Australian, in that deal to make way for Miller. So that did happen there. Yeah, Bulls acquired Dario Saric and 2027 second-round pick from the Kings and 2029 second pick from the Kings, and then they waived Javon Carter. And Kings only acquired DeAndre Hunter in that deal there. So that was the full trade for you right there. So, yeah, Clippers, Kings, and Nuggets are the next three games here. They realistically go 3-0. If they can at least go 2-1, I'll take that. Bob, you were saying about in the standings there, they are fifth, but they are 2 games behind second and third. Oh, okay. So they're tied with the Raptors right now, who give Raptors credit. They're having a way better year than a lot of people thought. They're 7.5 games from the Pistons. They're number 1. And then
Pistons are number 1?
Yeah, Pistons are number 1 they're number 2 in the NBA. Next to the Thunder, number 1.
Well, I mean, but in the East.
Yeah. Knicks and Celtics are tied for second at 31 and 18. So it's shaped. They're in much better. I mean, 1 week they could be in second.
No, Pistons playing that well?
Yeah, they are. Cavs are 1-1 versus them. They play the Cavs a few more times. So I'm looking forward to that.
I just didn't think they would be first.
Yeah, for the West, it's Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets, Rockets, Timberwolves, Lakers. That would surprise me a bit, especially how bad they played the other night against the Cavs. That was crazy. Suns, Warriors, Clippers, Trailblazers. That's your top 10 for the West there.
Have they had the All-Star break yet?
Almost.
It's almost
Yeah.
there?
Which, by the way, thank you for bringing that up, Bob. Donovan Mitchell announced as an All-Star last night. He will be an Eastern Reserve. LeBron will be a reserve for the first time in his career. He was offered reserve when he was a rookie, and said he turned it down and said, "If I'm not a starter, I'm not playing." This year, being 41 years old, he's letting it slide. He'll play.
No, I wouldn't be playing. I want to be a starter. I'm 41 years old. I want to show the old men we can still do it.
The young men.
You know.
He wants to show
No, I want to show the old men we can still do it. You know, the old guys don't get no respect. Rodney used to say that. I get no respect.
No.
I can still dunk the ball.
You?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Oh yeah, yes I can.
You can barely walk up the stairs. I'm kidding.
I got a little basketball hoop on my back of my door in my room.
There you go.
Yeah, I go over there right down.
You slam it home.
Slam it home.
He's got. We got 1 minute left until our break here, so he's got to talk about something there. So no, I overall I like the trade. I'm just curious of how it's gonna. I hope it does set them back. They've had trades like this before where you weren't 100% sure what they were gonna bring. I really like the Dennis Schroeder pickup because he is aggressive and he's a personality too. They said they missed that when they traded George Niang last year for DeAndre Hunter, and they said it was that locker room. Basically, that I don't like to compare it like this because pit bulls are not all bad, but he was the pit bull. Like he would defend the team, he would excite the team. But if you did anything wrong to his teammates, he was the first guy that stepped in and got in your face, and that's the kind of guy Schroeder is too. He defends his teammates, and he's an aggressive player. I mean, he's a solid scorer, but if they play like they did last night, they'll be okay. And again, no Mobley, no Garland, but other than Jared Allen, Merrill had a great game. They both played better than Donovan Mitchell did last night. Mitchell finally had kind of a break from being the guy last night. But no, they played well. Naquan Tomlin's playing incredible right now. No, Bob, you're right. Dean Wade at this time of the year, the past couple of years, he's struggled. He's looked solid. He really has.
Has he been injured?
No, he's been playing. He just hasn't done a ton, but now he's shooting a little bit more because he's making more now. But
I mean, I don't really watch that much Cavs. The last couple times I have had him on, I have never seen Wayne get in.
Yeah, he's been playing, especially with Mobley hurt. He's been starting. But no, all in all, much better. They start to look like themselves, and people are taking them seriously again. And they have been putting on a show for the national games there. So, hey, we'll take a break. When we come back, Akron beats Kent in round 1 in Akron. Ohio State also playing well. We'll talk about that. And plus, Bob's wearing Cincinnati Reds. They reunite with an old player. We'll talk about that and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back, to 10 Cent Beer Night here on 5th Dimension Radio.com. I'm Seth, and here's Bob. As we are deep now into the winter sports. Winter Olympics are coming up, aren't they?
Starts Friday.
Friday, there you go. Winter Olympics there. And that's, where is that?
Friday the 6th. Hey, before we go any farther.
Okay.
February 7th, 5th Dimension Radio will be at the Akron Comic-Con.
The horror one.
Yeah, the horror one, yes. From 10 to 6 at the Amigos Party Center, and I don't know the address offhand. I know it's Bath Road, corner of Bath Road and Route 8. There. Yeah, just Bath Road and Route 8.
We'll post it on the Facebook 10 Cent Beer Night, and
but come out and meet your favorite radio personalities.
There you go. So yeah, it is horror of local, national, all of that. For anybody, and I'm just going through. I know we don't talk horror movies here because it's kind of a bad mix.
Well, we do got our sister station, Polymer City Records, with Professor Psyops, and he will be there.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Signing autographs.
Anybody that is a huge Halloween fan, I am. That's my favorite horror franchise is Halloween. The woman that played the mom of the kid that dies at the beginning of Halloween Ends is going to be there. I know that's a little bit like, okay, but if you've ever seen that, a kid dies at the beginning, it sets the tone for the whole movie. the mom of that kid, the actress, is going to be there. So
I've never seen any of those movies.
I don't know if you would dig them or not. And
Yeah.
they're the first one.
They're not a Hallmark movie. And I'm a
No,
Hallmark fan.
no. They're not a Hallmark movie. Some of those that show up, well, not in the Halloween, but in some horror movies, have done Hallmark first. Like the one that you would never see is the Terrifier movies, and one of the main actresses there started Hallmark. So if you look up her past, it's like, oh, you started there. That's weird. It's a Christmas one too. Is your Nora?
It wasn't Lacey Chabert.
No. This is a younger.
Okay.
This is a younger one, and she was a side character. She wasn't a main, but she
Okay.
was like a friend of the main character that falls in love with the guy on Christmas. All that. So,
Okay. Well, we got off track. Anyway,
Right.
Comic-Con, the Horror one. Saturday the 7th, 10 to 6, a media party center.
Speaking of new love, real quick, I do want to mention with Cleveland hiring Todd Monken, here were all the coaching vacancies, and they're all filled as of yesterday. The last two filled theirs yesterday. Again, New York Giants are going with John Harbaugh, former Ravens coach. We had brought that up a while ago. Kevin Stefanski headed in Atlanta for the Falcons. Baltimore Ravens hired Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator of the Chargers, and he was under the Harbaugh coaching tree with both Jim and John. He's been with the Ravens before, so this one is a familiar face. Same kind of same a little bit different though style. So they're just going with a younger, fresh face that came from that coaching tree there. His replacement, Bob, the Mac's getting a lot of love in the NFL all of a sudden. New defense coordinator for the Chargers was a defense coordinator from Western Michigan. Like just recently.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Todd Monken too. He was former offense coordinator for Eastern Michigan years ago, like in the 90s and early 2000s.
Well, the MAC's starting to get a lot. I'm telling you, the MAC is starting to get big.
Right. The MAC is getting more recognition.
Well, at one time they used to call the the MAC, the Cradle Coaches.
Right.
A lot of great coaches came out of the
Brian
MAC.
Kelly, Urban Meyer, just to
Urban
name
Meyer.
a couple. Yeah.
I think Lee Tressel, before he was at the assistant coach in the MAC before he became the head coach at Youngstown State.
I think it was Bowling Green, wasn't it?
Bowling Green.
It may have
Yeah.
been. Yeah. I know Meyer was Bowling Green. Yeah. No, there's been a lot there. Mike McCarthy goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember the one Super Bowl he won? He beat Pittsburgh. He is from Pittsburgh. He loves that team, so we'll see how that goes. This was one of the new ones. Clint Kubiak, offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. So this is not official because we do have a Super Bowl this weekend, and he is coaching there. But he will go to the Raiders after that game. He will be their new head coach there, and they're the first overall pick. We mentioned Todd Monken going from Baltimore to Cleveland as the head coach there. Would have went to the Giants had he not got that job there. Robert Saleh gets his second time as a head coach with the Tennessee Titans. I think that's a solid pick for them. Jeff Havley, this is the guy I couldn't think of earlier. Defense coordinator for the Packers, leaves to become the Miami Dolphins head coach. Joe Brady gets promoted from as Buffalo Bills O coordinator to be their new head coach. Josh Allen loves this guy, so it was very fitting that they did this, and he was one of the top head coach candidates too. And then the last one, Arizona Cardinals hired Mike LaFleur, brother of Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. Mike was the office coordinator for the Rams the past couple years. Did not call plays, but he will be the new head coach for the Arizona Cardinals there. So best of luck to everybody there, but that's your head coach rundown there. Yes, so in the MAC, all right, last week the Zips went 2-0. They first beat Toledo 91-81 at home. And then we were there Friday night against Kent State, 69-52. Akron took the lead and never looked back. And overall, great game for Akron there.
It was a great game.
Hardman with like 5 or 6
It was
threes
a rough game, though, too.
Yeah.
A lot of pushing and shoving.
Right. I mean, the bench is almost cleared at tip-off. So that
right at tip-off.
Yeah, and one player vomited on the floor. So it was all kinds of craziness there on that game there. But round one went to the good guys. And as Bob had mentioned, I think right before break there, or it was at break, I sent that to you and Bill the other day. Who
with the win.
with St. Thomas in Minnesota losing at home this past week, the Zips have the top home win streak in the nation at 28. The record for the Zips is 30 under Keith Dambrot. Okay, 27 wins straight. Maryland and Duke, so they're in that big company there with those programs there. So 28 straight. Will the streak stand this week? Yes, because they're all away. So there you go. Tuesday, by the time you hear this, will be done by 6:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. They'll be at Eastern Michigan. They already beat these guys at home. I'm expecting to beat them home again. And then this Saturday, while we're at the Horror Comic Con at 6 p.m. on ESPN 2, there will be at Troy.
In the Sun Belt Conference, the showdown they have every year. That's the reason why I did hear this. Akron only plays Miami one time this year. Of course, they lost to Miami early in the season.
Right.
Of course, Miami's undefeated at 21-0.
And they're ranked.
And they're ranked in the top 25. Is because of this Sun Belt Conference. Kent State does play Miami twice. Toledo plays Miami twice. Buffalo don't play Miami twice.
Does UMass play them? Because they almost beat them the other day.
I don't know if UMass plays them again or not, but because of this Sun Belt Conference challenge that we have, because we did beat James Madison earlier in the year, and with Troy, all 12, 13 MAC schools are playing. That day is playing a team that's in the Sun Belt Conference.
I do like that because it changes it up.
It also helps come seeding time. Now we know everybody knows the MAC champ. You got to win the MAC tournament to get in the NCAA tournament. They're hoping this helps show that they can beat other conferences, and we maybe get a second team put into.
We should have at least two a year.
We should have at least two a year.
This Sun Belt Conference gets what, 2 or 3?
They had 3 last year. Make it to the NCAA tournament, the 68 field. The Mid American only had 1, and you got to win.
They've only had 1 since '95.
Yeah.
But that's besides. Yeah. But then they do that wrong because here's the thing, Bob. We're talking about Miami, Ohio. They lost to Akron in the championship, so they became in the MAC championship. Excuse me, and they became the 2nd seed. They didn't even make the NIA.
Right.
They got passed for Kent State, who they beat in the tournament. That's what it doesn't make any sense. And mind you, Miami had the 2nd best record all year last year. So the whole seeding's all
Kent
whacked
State
up.
goes to NIT, and Miami don't.
Yeah, they went to the 3rd one.
They went to the CBI.
Yeah, it was
College
a smack. And
basketball
they
side.
went further. They were ahead of Kent State like pretty much all year. It made no sense how that was going to work. But no, Troy is. I just looked. Troy's number 1 in the Sun Belt. So this is going to be a good game here. No, I do like how it mixes it up because now you also prepare for other conference schools closer to the big tournament.
And the first round of the Sun Belt MAC Challenge was the Mid-American beat the Sun Belt Conference 10 of the 12 games in the first round.
Yeah.
When Akron beat James Madison, I forget who Kent played.
Right.
But like I said, and that conference had 3 teams go to the NCAA tournament last year.
I can look that
Mid-American.
up right here.
Huh?
I can look that up right here. They did play Troy and lost in overtime.
Oh, so
They played Cornell too. I don't think that's the same conference, but
no, Cornell next time.
they got swept by Cleveland State. I didn't know that. And then they got beat more by Purdue than Akron did. I mean, Kent did not play terrible when we saw them, but
They were 1 for 32 in 3-point shots.
Yeah.
They didn't make anything. They made 1 3-point shot all night.
Right. It looks like they've lost. One of their better players was hurt, did not play, but it looks like they kind of just did lose their edge compared to what they've had the past couple of years. So we'll see. But there you go, Eastern Michigan and Troy for Akron there.
Who's Kent playing in Sun Belt this week? They're all playing.
Right. I backed out, so I have to look. I have to look here. So
I just want to see. Are they playing James Madison?
let me. So no, Southern Mississippi.
Well, okay.
So there you go. That they'll play them there. Ohio State men's. Of course, we got to show them some love too. Last week went 1-1. Monday they beat Penn State 84-78. Last Saturday they lost to Wisconsin 82-92. This week, Thursday they're at Maryland, and again Maryland's got one of those top home win streaks. So
Let's hope we can knock them off.
yeah, Fox Sports 8:30 p.m. this Thursday, and then Sunday they will host the number 3 team up north on CBS 1 o'clock, where they almost came away with an upset in Ann Arbor, and then the other team pulled away.
Michigan's number 1.
Number 3.
Okay.
Number 3. Yeah.
I misunderstood you.
Yeah. No, they've played very, very well. Michigan State's number 7. Purdue's number 12.
We got to give our Ohio State girls love. You know, they're ranked 8th in the country.
They've been playing well the past couple of years. And Ohio State also play a non-conference in a couple of weeks. Virginia, and they're ranked 17 right now. So, that's all good news here.
Yeah.
MLB Hot Stove report. We had Jose Ramirez signing an extension, and so that was.
Did you see the comment he made the other day? They asked him about his nationality. He says, 50% Dominican, 50% Cleveland.
There you go.
Is what he said.
That's a good answer there. So there is another. That's I won't say that's a reunion because he's been here forever, but that was to solidify his career here. There is a reunion that's officially here. Eugenio Suarez coming back to Cincinnati on a 1-year, $15 million deal there. Batted .228 with 49 home runs last year, and he had 118 RBIs. That was between Arizona and Seattle. Yeah. He last played for Cincinnati in 2021, and he was an All-Star 2018 for Cincinnati. He was an All-Star last year too.
Yeah,
so
it's good to have him back.
That's a good power bat to have with the youngsters there too. Just an overall quality bat in the middle of that lineup that's going to help Fred Code up. Arizona Diamondbacks talking to Carlos Santana, so he might have a home there.
How old is Carlos?
He's getting up there.
He's got to be close to 40.
This one, I was shocked that he didn't get a bigger deal. And he only got 1 year, 12. And this is the stuff I'm talking about with the guards and all that. And I get it. They're bringing up Bazana at second. Luis Arias, one of the better contact hitters in the league, signs with the Giants 1 year, $12 million. And this is a guy, he doesn't miss a beat. This is one of the better. I mean,
why couldn't we go after guys?
Right. That's 1 year, $12 million. That was right.
That ain't nothing.
He could be DH.
That ain't nothing in today's market.
He plays first too.
And we can't.
You could put him at first. Just get one. He's not a power hitter, but I mean he'll hit you 371. I'm not even joking. He's one of the best contact hitters in the league.
Why don't we? I just don't.
I draft him in fantasy every year because he's at easy points.
I just don't understand why can't we? For $12 million, I'd go after that guy.
That's cheap in the league.
That's cheap, and that's cheap.
Yeah. Former Reds outfielder Austin Hayes signs with the White Sox.
Yeah, I did hear that.
So, we're getting closer and closer to camp, Bob. It's about in a week.
It's coming with the 13th, 12th, 13th.
Yeah, something like
Pitcher
that.
and catcher, I think, report on for both the both the Guardians and the Reds. I think they're the 12th and the 12th or the 13th.
I wonder if these women. Well, they do have the money, but I wonder if these women hate being with their baseball boyfriends or husbands because every Valentine's Day they're definitely alone unless they go with them for dinner.
I'm sure they would. I know that year I was out there for spring training. They all had. Well, I don't know if they were wives or girlfriends, but they all had somebody with them.
I'm not going to say it on air, but I know for a fact the legendary Indian had somebody down there that wasn't his wife, and I'm going to leave it at that. And I know that for a fact. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone, but. Every Valentine's Day, I kind of think of spring training. Pat skis, if you ever get those at Giant Eagle, that's a big hit.
Those are good things.
I used to think it's because of 2020 it moved, but we used to get the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue this month. But it's now a summer issue because it changed the time frame, and they had to delay picture taking and everything, and so it's now like a June. It's now a June thing. It used to be a February, a Valentine's Day thing.
I used to go get that edition every year.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's still good stuff, man.
Ain't nothing like a good-looking woman in a swimsuit.
Absolutely.
You know, thinking of the hot weather out there. You know.
Yeah, the weather ain't hot there. It's cold. It's cold up there, but
I mean, it's just
yeah, that will we
it's a
have
guy thing.
yeah, we have about a minute left here, so that will pretty much wrap up our show today.
Oh,
Oh, real quick, Bob, Patriots or Seahawks? Who's win the Super Bowl this weekend?
I am going.
I feel so stupid if we didn't bring this up. Go ahead.
Oh well, I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
I'm agreeing with Bob. They're going to get revenge for 11 years ago when they didn't hand off the ball to Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson threw the interception in the end zone to the Patriots, and which sealed one of Tom Brady's rings. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a good game. Give me a 24-13 score at the end. I think it'll be neck and neck until Seahawks can break loose. And Seahawks, you're going to be the Super Bowl champions.
You know, the other night, I'm sitting there watching television, scanning the channels, and I come across the New England Patriots Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl game.
Right.
And I'm thinking, wait, Super Bowl ain't until February. It was in January. I didn't know they was replaying that game from 11 years ago. I'm sitting there and thought it was this game going on now.
No, and it's crazy. Two different head coaches, two younger guys. Hell, Vrabel may have been an assistant coach for the Patriots at the time, but Mike McDonald was it. And I will tell you, where did Mike McDonald come from? The Ravens. So maybe the Browns are on to something with this Monken hire. I mean, we'll see. I mean,
well, go Seahawks.
But you know, our division will greatly be different with McCarthy and Minter there.
You know why I want the Seahawks?
Why?
Because if the Patriots win, that gives them 8. They'll tie with Cleveland with the most wins and most championships.
And if with Vrabel being in our front office and us not promoting him to head coach, that's gonna be even a worse look. They'll be like, well, look, I mean, he turned them around. But you know, I don't have anything against either team. They've deserved to be here. So and they've made all the right moves. So I just want to see a good game there. So we do have Seattle win. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about the Cavaliers, any trade deadline moves that may have happened since this last episode here. Maybe not. But they do have some critical games coming up here. We'll talk about Zips and Buckeyes basketball. We'll talk about our high school basketball schedule. As we're coming near to the end of that, believe it or not. Just a couple more games.
1, 2, 3, 4 games left.
There you go.
But we haven't decided if there are going to be any sectional or district games or anything. We haven't decided.
Yeah.
That'll come later.
All
depends how our producer Bob over there, how he feels. You know, he gets the final say.
There you go. And then Major League Baseball moves going into spring training as they will start next week. Until then, you guys stay warm. It's still gonna be cold as hell out here in Ohio. If hell ever gets that cold, I mean, if the Browns ever won, if Monken won the Super Bowl, this is what it'd feel like in hell. I think. There you go. So all that being said, go Buckeyes, go Cavs, go Zips. You guys stay warm. Enjoy the Super Bowl if you're gonna watch it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.